Hello everyone, how are you doing today? I'm back with another video, and in today's video we have an Acer Aspire V7 series laptop, and this one is a model ZQK. If you want to know the exact model for your laptop, you can find it on the bottom sticker on the bottom of the laptop. It will tell you right in here. This one is a V7-481-6682. And in this video, I'm going to take you on over how to open it up and how you can repaste, clean up and service and do a maintenance for your laptop. So if your laptop is running a little bit hot and the temperatures are really up, you should do your maintenance every year, every 2 years at least, depending the location where you are. There's dusty or depending what type of work, how many hours you use. But I would recommend you every year, you should open it up and do your own repaste. And in this video, I'm going to take you on how to do it properly. Alright, I'm going to run over the tools that you're going to need. First, we're going to turn off the laptop. The tools that we're going to be needing is an UFIXTEK screwdriver set. I'll recommend you this one because they have an S2 class steel. Bits, these are really toughened bits. We're going to be using a Phillips #1. If you get the Pro version, you get an opening tool, tweezers, and everything else. But no, if you don't want to get the Pro set, get the basic set. For the opening tool, we're going to be using a guitar pick. And metallic guitar picks are really suitable to opening cover and cases. You will need an alcohol, isopropylic or isopropylic alcohol, 90% plus. You will need a workshop towel, and I'll be leaving the link for all this in my video description, so you can look for it. You're going to need one sheet of the workshop towel, and you will need a thermal paste. I would recommend you guys grab an Arctic MX4 or Arctic MX5. I'll leave again the link in my video description. But if you want to go a little crazy, you can go with the Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut. These are one of the best brand, and second one, best one, will be the Arctic MX4. Alright, with all this on hand, we're going to go get it started. So we're going to flip over the laptop. We're going to go on the bottom side, and we're going to see a whole bunch of screws. All the screws are the same size and height. So we're going to start from one corner and we're going to remove all the screws. Keep them in one pile. Also, if you guys like my videos, if my video helping you guys out to do your own repaste, service, maintenance, upgrade, you can support the channel by clicking that like and subscribing. I'll greatly appreciate it, and it will be a great motivation for me to take requests, answer your comments, and help you guys out. Alright, once you remove all the screws, if there's a screw that's not coming up, pull it out with a magnet. There's a strong magnet beside it. You can just do a few turns and it will come out. Remove all the screws. Grab your opening tool. You want to stick it between the top and the bottom cover, just like that. 1 or 2 millimeters in, and now you want to just twist it. Do that all around in the front. Work yourself towards the right side, towards the left side, and between the cracks. And the bottom cover just should come out pretty easy. You might hear a few clicks, that's normal. Those are the hinges. Tiny clip that break. Sometimes they even break down. That's normal because of the time passing, they dry up. Once you remove it, now down here we're going to see the whole inside. Now, in this specific model, there's no GPU installed, so there's no fan in here. So you might have a GPU installed, so there will be a X clamp like this in here with the 2 screws holding it down, with a heatsink going over yours. So pretty much whatever we're going to do here, you should do it to this side on the GPU side. And before you guys go keep asking me on a question, I'm just going to save you guys time. No, you cannot add a GPU or solder a GPU in here because there's many other components that it's already not in place, and power management and new charger, and it's a hassle. So you won't be able to upgrade the GPU. Alright, first thing first, we're going to disconnect the battery before you do servicing just by pulling this cable back, or try putting your fingers on top beside the white jack right there. I simply pull it gently, the cables evenly back, and the jack will come out loose. Alright, next we're going to remove the screws for the heatsink. So remove the 3 screws in here. They have a C-lock on them, so the screws will not come out entirely. You just have to loosen them up. We are going to remove the Wi-Fi cable. Just pull them up straight, untangle the cable, bring it to one side. Pull the jack for the fan straight. Just put your fingernails on the side of the jack, the white jack right there. I can't. And pull it back. So you don't want to pull on those cables. Alright. Now we're going to remove the screw for the fan beside the jack. This one has a C-lock too. So now we're going to gently wiggle it around and lift up the heatsink. And there we have it. This is a really dried up thermal paste. And we're going to service up the fan system. There's a little foam in here. You do not need this foam really. You can put a little gaffer's tape in here. So I'm just going to cut through here instead of making a big mess. So cut it straight down here. And there's a little tape on the other side. They do actually use a gaffer's tape on this side. So we're gonna remove this tape. This is a full service maintenance, so that's why I do this, so to clean up everything inside, because sometimes in here it will be filled with lots of dust, and you might, even if you blow through it, it will not come. So you don't cut this foam, leave it like that. If you did, put a gaffer's tape. Once you remove the gaffer's tape on this side, you can just bend it over like this, and you can just with a toothbrush, you can clean it and take it outside with a can of air or compressed air, clean up the whole ventilation right in here. I'll take this outside with a toothbrush, I'll clean it up. Alright, and first let's go ahead and clean up the CPU. I'm gonna grab a corner of the little bit of piece of workshop towel. We're gonna soak it in an alcohol. And we're just gonna simply rub it over the CPU. Just keep rubbing back and forward a few times. Be gentle. That's why I use this towel, because they will not, once you put an alcohol on it, it will not damage the capacitors beside them. It will tear apart before the capacitors get damaged or anything. You want to do it all around it. You don't have to go crazy cleaning between the capacitors. As long as you clean the die, you're fine. The die is the crystal thing on top of the CPU. There we go. I'm just going to clean up the crystal. I'm not going to go around it. Make sure it's sparkling clean. There we go. Nice and clean. Once you got that clean, we're going to clean up the CPU. Same thing with an alcohol. I'm going to show you a trick to clean up better this heatsink, because with the time passing, it gets really oxidized. I don't know if you guys can see the copper. There's a tiny layer of oxidization on top of the copper. We're going to clean that up. You can buy it in your local market, copper or silver solution, or in a paste or in a liquid format. I have this one. I got it in the downtown somewhere. I'm just going to grab a Q-tip, grab a little bit, and look at the magic that is going to happen. Just going to rub it on top. And look at how quickly it starts shining that copper and bringing the true copper color right on top. So there's all the garbage that was coming on top. Now look at the difference right now. If we try to focus. Now that's a pure copper right there. It's very shiny. So let's put this one back. Alright, I'm gonna take this outside and clean it up, and I'll be back. Now that we cleaned up the heatsink, now it's time to put the thermal paste. So grab your thermal paste, put a tiny line on top of the CPU. You don't need to exaggerate. I even put a lot, but I think I pressed too much, but it's okay. You just want to put a tiny line, doesn't matter. This is not conductive, so it will go around. It is not gonna harm the CPU or anything. So once we have this one in here, bring the CPU, the heatsink, align it straight over the CPU. Once you put it down, do not lift it up. And go ahead and put the screws. Make sure you cross screw them. So put one there and one in the other side. And there we go. Once you put that, tighten up the screw by the fan. Remember, if you have a GPU, you want to do the same thing, but right in here. There should be one screw right there for the fan and the two screws for the heatsink. Grab the fan cable. Do not forget to plug in the fan cable. People always forget it. run the cable for the Wi-Fi around the fan right there and bring it down and just snap down straight on top of the jack. Just push them down and they will just click in. And make sure it goes nicely right there. And there we have it. And the last thing down here would be to grab the battery, make sure evenly straight goes in and pinch it right towards the jack. And I'm going to turn on the laptop to see if it works. You will not be able to turn on the laptop and also clean the bottom cover with a toothbrush, clean inside and out. I haven't cleaned it, but I'm going to clean it in a bit. So if you don't put the cover, it will not turn on because there's a little switch in here. It has to be pressed by the cover. So you can put it like this, put it down, and just put one screw right in the middle here by the switch. Once you put that one in there, and one by the power on switch too. Or you can just go ahead and put everything on. So I'm just gonna keep the video short because you guys know how to just put it on, press it down, put all the screws all on the bottom cover, and that's how it works. So you don't want to see me screwing the cover, but I'll do that at the end. I'm gonna power it on, make sure it powers on. I'll go to the BIOS. So there's a battery, power on, press F2, and we got a logo, and we are in the BIOS. And there's a CPU, Intel iCore 3227U model. Alright, so we're gonna power off, and we're gonna finish up putting the bottom screws. Also, about the fan that I removed the tape in here, but if you want to put a tape, you don't need to, but if you want to put it on, it's called a gaffer's tape. You can, I'll leave the link in the video description. It's like a fabric tape. It's good for heating. So cut piece of the gaffer's tape and put it right on the heatsink where you remove the old tape. Alright, I'm just gonna finish up putting the screws. As always, if you guys have any question or requests, feel free to leave them in a video comment. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Again, if you like this video, please click that like and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.